Do you believe that an ordinary man, with a stable job and a kind face, could also be the most dangerous serial killer in American history? Gary Ridgway, known as the Green River Killer, shocked the entire nation with at least 49 confirmed murders. But the truth is even more horrifying. He confessed that the actual number of victims could be as high as 70 to 80. Most of them were young women, deceived, strangled mercilessly, and discarded like lifeless objects along the Green River. What turns a man into a monster? Was it an abusive childhood, a hatred for women, or was he simply born to kill? Whatever the reason, Ridgway spread terror for over 2 decades, and his story serves as a cautionary tale that cannot be ignored. The first bodies were discovered along the Green River in the early 1980s. Most victims were young women who worked in prostitution or had run away from home. Ridgway often used sweet promises to lure them into his car, but once inside, he became their worst nightmare. A haunting case. One of the most chilling cases was that of Mary Meehan, pregnant woman. Ridgway murdered her without hesitation and dumped her body in a desolate area. He showed no remorse, even viewing killing as a habit he needed to maintain. Ridgway targeted vulnerable women because he believed they wouldn't be missed. "I chose those no one cared about, so I wouldn't get caught," he said coldly. This not only highlights his cruelty, but also exposes society's disturbing indifference to marginalized individuals. Despite the growing number of bodies discovered, police struggled to identify the perpetrator. Ridgway was questioned by law enforcement in the 1980s but managed to evade justice due to a lack of evidence. He continued his spree, claiming dozens more victims in the years that followed. The role of DNA technology. It wasn't until 2001, thanks to advancements in DNA technology, that police were finally able to capture Ridgway. DNA samples collected from the crime scenes matched his, bringing 2 decades of terror to an end. The community was shocked. How could a seemingly ordinary man with a family turn out to be such a monster? After his arrest, Ridgway confessed that killing made him feel powerful and gave him a sense of complete control over his victims. When asked why he killed so many people, he chillingly replied, "Because I could." Twisted mind. Ridgway's behavior reveals not just a murderer but a deeply distorted and inhuman psyche. Psychologists have suggested that he suffered from antisocial personality disorder, which left him devoid of guilt or empathy for his victims. Unanswered questions. The Ridgway case raises many troubling questions. How did he evade capture for 20 years? Part of the answer lies in his ability to cover his tracks, but it also reflects society's failure to pay sufficient attention to the plight of women working in prostitution. The media dubbed Ridgway a monster in human disguise.